Welcome everybody to another episode of Comics and Consoles. I'm Winston, or I'm not Winston Hodges.
No.
I am Barry White Hansen.
Can be tonight.
And with me as always is my co-host, who is Winston Hodges.
I am Winston Hodges. That's who I am. My actual name.
And with me we brought a very special guest. He's known as a wizard of graphics. He is also known as the world's greatest marble streamer of all time. The one, the only, NinoReign.
What's up, man? Yeah, what's up, buddy? What's up?
What's going on?
With me, I brought a comedian based out of Chicago that I've met during the pandemic. Very funny, runs a bunch of really cool shows online. Bontrager.
Yo.
Welcome,
Yes, sir. Welcome.
I guess that's my dog Science over there. Oh no.
Nice, dude.
My fake dog Science.
My floating dog that randomly appears.
Anything that has remotely an eyeball is a thing in the eyes of a digital background.
Yeah, dude,
Oh my God. Oh, already. That was a
Nick.
zinger off the bat. Where's the
yeah, his back. Yeah, if your background goes down, it's you just see a bunch of just stuffed dead animals.
Just dead-eyed mannequins.
Yeah, just mannequins
Yo.
sewn together.
That's funny.
Keep the corpse of these animals, just nice and cozy.
What's the dog's name? Scientology?
Not Science.
Oh, I thought you said it was fake.
It's it's a fake dog, and it's it has a real name. It's the avatar of the idea of science, the Platonic ideal.
Trying to get the joke to catch up, man. It's okay.
No, just let him. No, just
Tom Cruise is a big fan of my dog. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I was
It's a real
playing.
dog. It's a real dog. It's a real
It's a
dog.
real-
Real dog.
Oh man, I appreciate y'all having us tonight, man. It's great so far.
Yeah, it's what we do. And thank you to everybody that's tuning in as well. We got Female Thumper, Millie Mech, and Bubbles in here so far. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Woo.
Uh,
Thank you.
So to start the podcast off, recently it was announced that Stadia is ending all their in-studio projects that they were working on, including a survival horror from Kojima, as well as a couple other original titles that were only going to be on Google Stadia.
Good. Okay.
Do we think that this was a very bad step? Because right now they're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for Red Dead Redemption 2 and games like that that are already released on other consoles. Is this a step in the right direction or the wrong direction?
I mean, I'm already pissed about Stadia because like it's like a gated community thing. Like I tried the free trial and it's just like everything's full price. You can't pull in like because I have a bunch of games in Steam and stuff like that. It's a cool idea. It works well on like just a browser, like going up and playing fast. But I just hate the game thing. Pisses me off. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I know that the people had problems with connection.
How stable is it?
Well, that was my
I
question.
have like a 2012 like thing. I don't know, a 2012 computer. It's an old computer and it runs pretty well.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't even think Stadia was even still a thing, man, to be honest with
Well,
you.
the only person
Yeah,
that I
forgotten all
knew
about
that was
until you asked
defending
this
it
question.
worked for an internet company and had super fast internet. So I was like, well, yeah, obviously your connection is fine,
Yeah.
but
I'm in one of those weird monopoly zones, so I'm forced to have shitty speed Comcast, and it works. And I'm just using like a regular Xbox controller wired, and it picked it up pretty quick.
oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I don't ever think it's a good step when a company's like, we're not making original games.
Yeah.
That never sounds appealing to me.
Yeah, there's no reason to do it.
Yeah, like it's because I don't know, man. It's because I would assume that's like never use Stadia at all. I would just assume anything that is purely based on your internet is going to have moments where it's fucking terrible because everybody's got different internet speeds and stuff like that. So to me, the big draw is like, I don't know, at least with Apple games, there were like exclusive games for Apple and quit and stop development in the middle of like a I don't know, man. Is Kojima ever going to get another fucking survival horror game made?
Well, yeah, because now the rumor is that there's going to be a new Silent Hill that's coming out, and one of the rumors was that he was going to do it, and now they've announced like Bluebird Studio is going to do it, so it's not even going to be him doing that.
Yeah. Damn, dude.
And then in other Stadia news, Terraria's have actually dropped off of Google Stadia because he couldn't access his Google email, and said that it was a conspiracy against Google against him. And apparently Google got him access to his email, and he put Terraria back on Stadia. So happy ending there, at least.
That's crazy.
But I thought that story was funny. The fact that he canceled it over an email account. And next up on the list. Yeah.
Yo, it literally just says right here, bro. It says that in February 2021, the company announced it would be shutting down all of Stadia games and entertainment, period. Right?
No, that's Stadia Games, like their studios. Like kind of like how PlayStation has PlayStation Studios. It was their personal studios that were coming out with games just for that system and nothing else.
That's insane. Yeah, I had no idea it was still around at all.
So do they have a stock option? I mean, are they selling out? I mean, what really?
I'm curious about that, because if they did have stock out, how does that work? Since they're just kind of,
I mean, because I'd like to buy it, because if it's about to drop to the floor, by technology, I'd like to grab that.
No, for real, yeah. Yeah, this is now a Wall Street Bets podcast.
Come on, Daddy Elon, help us out.
Skip.
Hey Barry, can you put your Twitch thing in the chat for Bontrager so he can share it?
Yeah.
He sent me a message and I just can't. It'll kick me out of the Zoom if I since I'm doing it off my phone.
In the Twitch chat or
no, that's fine.
Okay.
Just put it in the Zoom chat just so that he can see it, so that he can go to it and stuff. I just don't. I just can't do it. But yeah, man, Stadia is a thing that I've never used. I've never wanted to use. And
you guys used any of the cell phone kind of like the Xbox Pass? Like Xbox Pass does it, I think, and
I have
Steam has a version of it. Because I only use it just to play Cyberpunk games and stuff like that, like the new ones. But
I have the PC Game Pass.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just think it's interesting that we're like you can basically turn your phone into like a better like Switch just on the go.
It's crazy.
I don't know. I wish they'd invest more into it. I mean, I don't think Google really needs to. It's just an experiment.
Yeah.
They're like,
they don't give a fuck, dude.
If we don't instantly make a shit ton of money, we're just gonna drop off of it and like use the data for something else.
Yeah, does Google give a fuck about games? I don't know. This is like
doesn't Google still have phones that nobody uses?
Yeah, the Pixel.
Yeah.
Do you have a Pixel?
When was the last time a Pixel came out?
Yeah. Well, not to mention, it's kind of seemed like one of those things where, it's kind of a lot of companies fall prey to this, where they get into it way too late in the game with little to no knowledge, and it just flops ridiculously. I don't think they realized how much goes into game development. And once they saw, it's like, oh wait, we have to hire these people for years to develop this stuff. Oh,
Yep. We only had $300,000 budget.
Yeah, exactly.
My wife sells paper clips for a living, and I sell sod, but our budget's $4.9 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Like if fucking I don't know, man. Whenever you hear about like a company like Google getting into games at all, my first thought is like, if they were serious about it, it's Google. They should just go buy some games that are about to come out and be like, these are just now Stadia exclusives. Like that's the only thing I can think of to where it's like when you're Google and you can just be like, yeah, I'm going to make this an exclusive game. That would help you buy the time you need to develop good games, as opposed to pumping money into it and then getting halfway through it and being like, no, we're just not going to have original games on the Stadia.
So
would you buy a new game just to have like only play it on Stadia?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
But here's a question: is let's say that it's a huge AAA title. Like let's literally say something like when you have Google's resources and they're just like, hey,
Yep,
They
you cut
Stadia
out.
exclusive.
But like, what title's big enough to move?
New
Right.
Grand Theft Auto, new Red Dead.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's
look
like
at what Epic
Rockstar-
how much money to acquire that in the first place, though.
Yeah, but like, how
Yeah.
much money is Google worth? Like, it's all this game. Like, I mean, if Google wanted to, they could purchase Rockstar, and it's a drop in the bucket. Like,
Okay.
so my question is like,
No.
if you could, if you're going to get into the developing games and you're going to just quit halfway through it, it's like they would have been better off purchasing other titles or titles that were close to
Okay,
funding
I see
other
your point.
companies.
I see
Yeah.
your point. Put the money to work better for you instead of trying to start,
From scratch when you don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck you're doing.
Well, that's
I
kind
just
of
wish
what.
there were more free games. Like the only free games they had on there was like a Power Rangers fighter game, and
Yeah.
it's like a dog shit fighter. It's just like, what am I? Okay, I have to pay I have to pay full price, always full price, never a sale for games. And
How much
then,
is
like,
Stadia a month? Is it a service? And then you
Yeah, it's a service like YouTube Red or something. It's like you tack it on. I don't think you.
so
can
you
get
pay
it.
no matter what
Yeah.
you download. So if you don't download anything that month, you still got to pay.
have to pay
Yeah.
for it. Yes, so it's like a
Yeah.
streaming.
So it's like a
service.
Sam's Club.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
where you pay for the membership, and then you can also.
but,
Yeah, Barry?
but unlike Sam's Club, there's no discount for anything.
There's no discount.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't get a little coupon book in the mail, right?
Yeah, no
Except for like
samples.
really free shitty games that you don't even want to play. So it's like, why are you even offering them in the first
Well,
place?
Yeah,
that
they
kind of segues into my question. What PlayStation, Xbox have come out with exclusive AAA games? Like off the top of your head, I'm just trying to kind of think myself.
There
Like,
hasn't been a good Halo in a while, which is a problem.
Spider-Man was exclusively on PlayStation 5, right? Like you could only get that on that,
yeah,
right? Or
I was
something.
all yeah.
So you can
Right.
get rid of all the Xbox ones because they haven't had a good exclusive game in ages. Plus, their
Yeah.
exclusive
Okay.
stuff you can also get on PC. But like Sony, there is like, I mean, like, is Last of Us available on PC? Like, are those
So do you think
games?
that
Now it
cheapens
is,
the
I think.
ecosystem? Because that's part of Xbox's new thing is like it's Game Pass or whatever. It's our games go on all of the platforms that we run as Microsoft. Like, do you think that
Right.
cheapens the exclusivity of their games that it's PC and Xbox?
I mean, it's why I won't buy another Xbox for a long time
Yeah.
because I'm just like,
Because
I
you
don't
have
see
a
the
PC that can run it.
because I just don't see the purpose in it. It's like
Right.
there's no the only exclusive game that would make me buy a new Xbox is if the new Halo comes out, Halo Infinite, and is good. That's the only thing that will get me to buy it. Like everything else is third party titles that I can, when I get a PS5 eventually, it will also be on that because Sony just makes better exclusive games.
Yep.
And it's like they just do. But that's a good point, Nino. I don't really know, like, because I'm not fully aware of what PlayStation exclusive games eventually migrated to.
Yeah, you just
online,
answered it though.
So I don't
You
know.
said you would buy a PS5 if it had this exclusive game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you
almost
times
bought a PS
500,000
for
people.
Spider-Man, but I don't know.
Yeah.
right. See what I'm saying?
But I hate
the
the
marketing,
controller,
man,
so
marketing.
I kept looking for like an alternative to like to play like use an Xbox controller on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I was like, then maybe, but for like one game though,
Yeah.
that's like a huge thing. Like
Mhm.
just like that's my Spider-Man console. Like just for
Yep.
that's what always feels weird about it.
Don't touch it.
Interesting. Yeah. See, I want like the new Horizon when it comes out.
Okay,
Sony
yeah.
always has good exclusive games. Like it's the only reason I don't have a PS5 is I'm really wary of spending that much money on a new console. Like, but
Yo.
if in a year I'll get one.
No, you made a good point, and it just hit me. I was like, yo, there's a Sony Studios, there's a Sony Productions, there's a Sony blah blah blah. There's a Sony blah blah. You don't see
They've been working on
Xbox
these relations for a
Studios,
long time. Yeah.
Xbox, you don't see that shit, right? And Sony uses their resources that they're already paying for
Mm-hmm.
to put in the time, effort, and energy for a quality game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Because
know.
they've made relationships with like or early on, like I think like Insomniac Games, right? They had a relationship
yeah.
with them, like and like certain companies just like I don't even know if it was like a written agreement that was exclusive, but like maybe a silent handshake, like, hey, give us first option at least. Like give us
Yeah,
a
like
couple
timed
of years.
exclusive
First
stuff.
right of refusal. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I got you. I mean, but look, I mean, Spider-Man on the PS5 came out. It was beautiful graphics. It was beautiful gameplay, beautiful mechanics. I think it was well okay. I mean,
I played it at a friend's house. It didn't make me want to buy a PlayStation.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
bought it.
You know what I mean?
there you go.
I'm like, just come to PC. Just like,
Yeah.
I mean, it'll, I don't know, but like, I'm just being a whiner. But
To me, it just looked like- To me, it just looked like another Arkham game. Like to me, it was like the same type
Oh
of
yeah, totally.
mechanics and everything
those
as
are
an
great.
Arkham game. Yeah,
Oh,
and
I
they're
can
great
see that. I
games,
can see
but
that, yeah.
They're pretty good. Yeah.
but I know that the replay value is not there. I'm going to play it once and then all right,
Yeah.
cool. That was fun.
Yeah, but like outside of multiplayer games, most games don't have replay value to me.
That's fair.
Like to me, if it's a single player experience, there's very few games that I've played through multiple times.
Something like
Where-
a BioShock I've played a couple times just because of
Yeah,
options,
BioShock, I
but-
can
But
play
even
a
that,
bunch of
I've played through it. I'm like, I'm fine. If I want to see different options, I'll watch other people play it on the internet.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
They honestly brought up that was one of the reasons Telltale Games flopped was people kind of realized that the choices didn't really matter as much as they thought they did. And they were
Yeah.
just like, I can just watch the endings on YouTube
Yeah.
and I don't really need to
It's
play
just
this.
there's two options. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the bottom fell out of that quick
Yeah.
because I remember like everyone I knew was doing loving The Walking Dead, and then the next thing I know, I'm reading something that's just like, yeah, they've closed everything.
Yeah.
They're done.
It just seems so boring.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. But as far as stuff that's like we're talking about PlayStation and Xbox, it's like, but if Nintendo starts putting its shit like online, I will just completely switch to PC because that's the only one where it's just like I think Nintendo exclusives are the best exclusives, and they're so old school. I just don't ever see them doing that. But if they did, I
They
would.
are
I
so
think,
weird about their
Yeah.
game creation, aren't they? Like they kind of like keep stuff in development for really long and just
Yeah.
kind of like there's this weird like kind of perfectionism to it, right? Or am I just kind of
no, it is. It's a weird. They treat games very differently than I feel like. Nintendo seems to be one of the few companies where if it gets to the end of the development cycle, like if Nintendo had made Cyberpunk, they would have not released it until it was ready.
Cyberpunk will be coming out in like 7 more years.
Yeah, 7 years. And it'll come out, and by then the graphics would not look great, but we'd be like, "Oh my god, there's so many cute animals in Cyberpunk! Like,
Yeah.
this is fun." But I'm a
Mario
Nintendo
has a
guy.
heroin problem.
Yeah.
And they're still pixelated. What's that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was going to say.
seem
Yeah,
to
the
have-
Nintendo Wii. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. And they seem to have the same problem that I think Bethesda has where they rely on their flagship games too much. Like they'll
Yeah.
re-release a Zelda game 6 million times, a Mario game 6 million times, but
And I will buy it.
Why do they
every
hate
time.
Metroid so much?
that is a fair point.
Like, what is happening? Like, what did Samus do to Nintendo? Like, it
transphobes,
baffles my mind. I've only played like there was like one good Prime game. It was like Fusions on the Game Boy. I think
What?
was like a really good one. I don't know.
One.
I like
Prime 1 and
Fusions.
2 are great.
No, no,
There's been one good Metroid Prime
on
game.
like the Game Boy Advance. I think. It
Okay,
was,
I
right?
thought you were saying in
Yeah, yeah.
general. I was like, what are you?
No, not best ever made ever. I'm just saying like on the Game Boy Advance, like that, like each generation there's like 1 or 2, and then we haven't had one for a couple generations, right? Since since the regular Wii.
Well, fucking
Um,
4 is in development, and then they came out and said they had to go with a new team, so they're starting it over from scratch.
Oh wow.
Is that what they do? They're like new team, burn the old
Delete,
Metroid
building
building
delete.
Yeah, dude,
down. Burn it down.
they drag it all to the trash folder.
Bring that shredder in here.
I was actually really surprised that weird Nintendo data leak that they actually had archived stuff. It kind of
Yeah.
surprised me that they had all the archives of the process of like the original Pokemon and stuff, because I would
Wow.
almost think they would burn it. Just
Right. I mean, because if in the wrong hands, that becomes a valuable piece of paper, right? I mean,
Yep.
any of any of the documents do. That's a good point.
Yeah, they're so good about holding on to their fucking.
I mean, I'm not
properties.
saying I wouldn't have bought something like that.
Yeah, I definitely would. Oh man.
I mean, could you imagine having like one of the first slides of like the original Pokemon card or something like
That'd
that?
be
That it actually
insane.
off the press or something, like not the slide, the plate.
Yeah, that would
The
be
printing.
insane.
I mean, I wonder who's got that. Anyway.
Yeah, in my mind, all these places have giant warehouses where they keep all this shit, which might not be true at all. But I'm
Mhm.
just thinking of like how fun it would be to be in the Nintendo warehouse with all the rare shit in it, and just like,
right.
oh my,
But then no, there's a door in the back that you can't go in.
yep, where there's something that you
Would it
can't
There's
be
read.
a
something you
plate?
can't see that shit.
I don't think the Pokemon cards were plated. I think it was just a regular, like digital printing process.
Laser printer, huh?
Yes. Yeah, so I think
An
it would just be a
Epson.
digital file.
Now,
Yeah, I think
now I
it'd
want
be
to
like a-
now I kind of want to look it up.
Yes.
I think it would just be it would just be some kind of giant floppy disk, just in some old man's basement.
That would be awesome.
The soundtrack's on
Safe.
8-track.
With a weird label on it, written in Sharpie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's some weird Pokemon, the weird ghost girl in Pokemon. There's like weird conspiracy stuff in Nintendo games. I feel like there's a weird overarching Nintendo conspiracy they're trying to brainwash us or something.
Dude, is Pokemon not making another wave again?
Oh, it's
Is
huge,
anybody else
man.
seeing this?
Whoa.
Oh, it's huge right now.
The
I mean,
direct, if
and
they
it's
Breath
coming
of
straight
Wild
up
that,
again.
oh my god! If there are no invisible walls in that shot that they showed, you can just run from that point to the other mountain and just shoot and kick Pokemon all along the way. Hell yeah!
It looks awesome.
I'm
I mean,
for
you
it.
can't even go to McDonald's and get a fucking Happy Meal, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, and now the cereal, they're putting Pokemon cards, the exclusive ones in cereal, and people are going
Oh, okay.
crazy out there, man.
Yeah. Well, there's
Go to
even
Walmart,
streamers that are buying
look
tens
down
of
that
thousands
aisle.
of dollars in Pokemon cards to open and stuff.
Yep.
Like, it's insane.
Is it because of Go? Has Go gotten people in because like invested because they spend money on it and shit?
I think so, but they've done such a good job of like reinventing it for each new group of children that like we're just like at this point where like I'm 30 and I'm nostalgic for it. So I've got this money to spend, but also they're introducing enough new stuff that like young kids are like, this is fucking amazing. Like it's just such a perfect, I don't know, man. It's insane. I don't know if Pokemon will ever go away.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're pumping
insane.
out. Maybe that's why they're giving the remakes to other companies because they want to be able to pump out multiple Pokemon games for every level of player. Essentially,
That's a good point because they'll pump out like a new game to get new fans in, and then by having these old remasters come out, it's the new fans can be like, oh, I can play the old one and it doesn't look like shit.
Exactly.
This is great.
Exactly. So maybe like you'll pull in people who like the weird, stupid, chibi people in the new Diamond Pearl thing because it's not for you who played the original one. It's not necessarily for you. It's for like your kids who you want to indoctrinate into Pokemon. Yeah.
Well, saying that, I took Caleb, my son, my 11-year-old. He's be 12 next month. I took him up to the battlegrounds. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. And I walk in and I got some money in my pocket. I wanted to try to get him started.
Yeah.
Nope. I really wish that they had tiers, not for level and skill, but for fucking starting out and being able to be affordable. Like, let me walk in with $25 and still be able to make a purchase. You got my $25. My son got started. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
But don't put $88.99 on a fucking starter kit for my
That's
son.
so
And I'm
much.
looking at it like, holy shit, that's 2 pints
insane.
of blood. Like, I mean,
that's crazy.
one thing of plasma. Like, what are we looking at? But I really
for
wish that they made it
cards?
more affordable. Yeah, for the game and for any of the games because they have a lot of different games in Battlegrounds. I mean,
it's like what is it?
oh shit, dude, massive. I mean,
Warhammer and all that stuff.
Yeah, they have the big tables and all the stuff on the wall, dude.
$80
it's
something
unreal.
dollars is insane for just to start out.
So just right, okay.
That's mind blowing.
So, my son upstairs, he's got probably about 1,000 Pokemon cards, and I bought him one of those books with the sleeves and all. You know what I'm missing, and it's fucking expensive, man.
Yeah,
it is. Dude.
I mean,
I think back on it now when I was playing it growing up and just like wanting all these cards, and then now I'm looking back on it and just being like, I have absolutely no idea how much money my parents spent. It's just like,
but you don't know how much money they're worth either,
Yeah.
Like I haven't even
Actually,
gone through his
I am
Pokemon.
digging them up. I was trying to remember. I was like, do I maybe have one that's worth a damn.
Yeah.
But besides that, I don't think I have any like fucked up misprints or anything. Not that I've checked in a long time.
Oh, I kicked
Well, if you
myself
can get
in
'em
the
from
ass for
McDonald's.
throwing away my old Magic cards. I have some of the first runs of Magic cards, and I just chucked them when I went to college because it was like, nobody plays this stupid game. And now they're worth thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Hey, Barry, you're breaking up a little bit, bud.
Oh. Yeah, is that
Is
better?
that just me, or does anybody else hear it?
Yeah, it's just a little crinkly, like maybe like a wire.
Yeah, it's not like that
plugged in
on
way.
the stream side. It's
Yeah,
just
so
on
Okay,
Zoom.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah, just like we can still see, like they can also Bontrager see him on the stream side. We have
Yeah,
to
totally.
pretend. We have to pretend that he's.
I see you.
I
Yeah,
was
I
just
see you.
making sure.
No, yeah, I heard
see
it too.
I see your masked majesty now. I see you.
No, we only found out that it's on the stream side because the first time we met up, it was an hour of me telling him he sounded like shit and trying to get him to fix it.
Well, this is my little friend, Mr. Hanky. He put a boogie in him to make him dance.
Bontrager, do you stream?
So I just got done doing a tech test, doing the riffing over old movies. That's why I was like a little bit running into class late. But yeah, so we were watching what was it? Flying Down to Rio, 1934. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers' first entanglement on film together. They'd go on to do like movies where they were like the feature of it. They were kind of like a side like comedy gag in this movie. Yeah, just having comedians riff over the movie a little bit. Just trying stuff out, making sure the tech works, see if we get flagged by copyright anywhere, because it should work because it's older than 70 years. So I don't know what the rule is on like maybe some people own the rights to specific movies, but yeah, I'm doing that, and then I can't really do live stream video game playing because it gets weird. Maybe if I do to StreamYard or something, but technology's weird.
Okay.
It gets all glitchy, but yeah, there's gonna be a Fortnite. There's gonna be a fucking Fortnite thing happening probably at the end of the season. It's probably gonna be.
Yeah, I know you're a big.
I'll probably stream on.
Yeah, I know you're a big Fortnite guy.
It's easy, and there's a lot of children you can run around and headshot. All the kids are playing that one. You get the ego boost. Just turn the mic sound off. Turn the voice sound off. You don't have to worry. They're like those kids. They just scream, and their voices are high pitched too. Like I swear, my windows almost broke the one time. God damn it!
Yeah, I've never done any streaming stuff other than what I've done with Barry. So it's like I've been on his stream a few times, and then we do this show, but he's the one controlling all of it. Streaming seems fun. I just can't. I wouldn't be good at it, so I just stick around on his thing.
Compared to being a comic?
Yeah, I just don't like the gaming and talking at the same time. It's that multitasking that it's like being able to stay engaged. My brain doesn't do that. Like if I was like I could talk the whole time, but if I'm talking the whole time while I'm playing and staying engaged, I'm not a good enough gamer to do that. So it's just me playing a game really poorly.
Yeah. I was doing a tech test, and me and my friend were playing, and we ran into this kid who the entire match, he wasn't talking about the game or anything. He was just trying to like sell us on fish, and he was just like, "Yo, fish are awesome. Fish are the best."
Banned
Wait a minute, eating or banned? Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Every like you just like do not
every
eat
facet
fish.
of fish.
And all
facet
fish.
of the
He's
word.
all about protecting fish rights. Fish are people. Fish deserve jobs.
Save the whales.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, what's your favorite fish? I'm trying to like bond with this kid. He's like, oh, that's a trick question. All fish. I'm like, this kid's got it on lockdown. He's like,
Dude,
I'm like, so can we eat fish? Do you like to eat them? Like, oh no, you don't eat the fishies. And I'm like, okay, so don't eat the fish, but can I like, are you cool with eating anything else? And he's like, yeah,
Dude,
anything you want. I'm like, people? He's like, yeah, eat people. I'm like,
Oh my
all
God.
right, this kid's just all about fish.
You know, I wonder what crystals he had on his dresser.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh man.
But I think
Sorry,
it's a good question.
did I cross the line?
Nina, like just comparing
No,
the whole
it's just
stand up. No. I think you got it. I agree with it. It's a good question about just like the differences between streaming and stand up, because it is like a form of like I think they're similar in the way that it is like a lot of it is personality based and communication based and stuff like that. Like but I don't know, man. I don't really know what it takes to get started in streaming I don't know what it takes to get successful in streaming. Like,
Well, can we kind of do a comparative? here?
Yeah, let's do it.
So,
Let's
so
do-
with,
let's
let's do it.
Do you want me to call in from my curtain camera? Like, do you want me to flex right now?
No.
I'll show you the
So-
difference. I'll stand up.
So check it out. Like, people will stream for a year or 2 years and not have any viewers. Okay. And then they'll have 1 or 2 people and all that's great. And then all of a sudden they have 30, 40 people and that's amazing. And then you got hundreds, and it just grows. It's different for you guys. It has to be fundamentally different because I'm going to tell you right now, when I'm streaming and I have 20, 30 people watching me, I feel amazing. But it would make me fucking have anxiety to be on a stage with those same fucking people looking at me in my face. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
So being a stand-up comedian, I mean, you have to make a name for yourself. You have to be able to do your own marketing. You have to be able to get yourself out there. You go on stage and nobody shows up. Do you still talk?
Yeah.
Streaming, you have to. You fucking have to. If you're streaming, you're still streaming. You're gonna, like you said, it's hard to keep that conversation going. You talk about the game. You're like, oh man, this building looks pretty cool. The design is awesome. Oh, what's over here? Oh, a truck. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, look, a guy. Boom, boom, boom. And you talk to yourself until somebody comes in. But on stage and you're booked for an hour, a 45-minute set, and nobody shows up.
Yeah.
I collect my check and walk out the fucking door.
Dude,
But I'm saying, like,
dude, they won't pay you if you don't.
Yeah,
Dude, there's a lot
yeah.
of clubs that will, if you show up and no one shows up, to get paid contractually, you have to do your act for that length of time.
Yep. It's like that with bands and
And
stuff.
I've had that
too.
happen. I've had it happen a few times.
did
Sometimes
science eat our guest?
I
Yeah.
think he's trying to get his other camera.
I'm
so he can,
trying to make a visual comparison.
Yeah, I can tell you something too. The visual, but like, yeah, dude, you
All
can
right.
go to a club and they're like, "Hey, this is the budget," but it's like no one showed up. Sometimes they'll try to talk you into taking half the money, or they'll pay you for your gas. But if you've got the contract, a lot of times the only way to get your money is to be like, "I'm going to stand on this stage and just do my act." If somebody walks
We're
in,
talking
they
about
walk
before
in.
you get to that point. We're talking about before you get to that point, because by then you're making money off of your tech. By then you're already making money. You know what I mean? There's got to be that
But you
time or
don't-
that.
But no one's booking you 45 if you aren't getting paid. I don't know any comic that would do that. Like
Yeah.
the most time you'll get is like 5 to 10 minutes, and
Yep.
and
Okay.
even then you'll show up and you just perform to the other comics.
Gotcha. Okay.
That type of thing, or you work on wording and stuff like that. I've definitely walked into open mics where nobody's there, and they're like, "Hey, I just need you to kind of like 15 minutes behind. We got to get the show started. There's one person at the bar. Can you just stretch?
Yep.
Can you just stretch for 15 or 20 minutes?" And it's like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm here."
Yeah.
All right. Let me tell you
Let's
just a
do it.
quick story,
yeah.
and then you guys can take it from there. So I ran lights. Barry knows I ran my lighting gig for a long time, and I had this gig. It was a comedy show in Charlottesville. It was like, I can't remember, but it was like 4 or 5 black comedians going around the country. Okay. I can't remember the name of it or whatever it was, but they promoted this thing for months. And I'm talking months, guys. Tickets were like $35 a piece. I get there 2 hours early, set up all my stage lighting, get all my microphones ready to go, dude. 4 fucking people
Yeah.
in the entire Charlottesville little amphitheater. 4 people. The rest were all the rest of the comics, people that came with them, their family, friends. 4 tickets were sold. I still got my money,
Yeah.
but those comics
Yeah.
did not, and they were
Yeah.
pissed, bro. All of the comedy that night was talking shit on the promoters, the marketing agencies, and all those. Oh man, it was a great night. I was laughing. Anyway,
Yeah, that's all.
What are we doing?
Yeah, when those people don't get paid on something like that, it is because they had no guarantee in their contract, and it's all they did a door deal. And if there's a door deal and there is no door, you're fucked. God damn it!
Shut the
Bontrager.
fuck up, man. Oh my god, dude. Next time, come out shirtless with all those chains on, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'll throw $5. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't go naked.
But yeah, that's
I have to turn on the mic.
different.
That's funny.
But yeah, man, it's just interesting. I couldn't do the streaming thing. I couldn't. I think the only way I could do it is if I got to a point as a comedian where I already had followers and I just I couldn't handle the starting out and doing it for 2 to 3 hours with nobody there. I don't.
But why not? Why can't you just go live and do your fucking skit? Do your whole thing and practice.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it.
Don't worry about who's in chat. Yeah. Just hit the go live button, put your camera up there, and just.
Oof. I don't know. I just don't know if I have. There's something about the way it. So you get anxiety with the thought of 30 people doing that. I have infinitely more anxiety if I was talking to 5 people that I could not see at all.
So you're okay with hold the fuck up, man. So you're okay with getting on a stage and having 20, 40, 50 fuck.
Because I can read the body language.
That's so much better than this right now.
I got on the
staring
stage
at nobody
at Browns Island for 30,000 fucking people, and I shit myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that rules.
I mean, I was only DJing one 20-minute set, but I almost shit myself, dude.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it, man.
But did you shit yourself, or did you feel like
I thought my
almost
stomach,
shitting yourself?
You know that nervous feeling you get right before that happens? It was almost halfway through, and then once I saw people were catching the vibe, and dude, I mean, it was having a great time. The drop came, everybody fucking, and then I lost all that nervousness, and then I started relaxing. About 10 minutes out there, but like the anxiety, it's called the go live anxiety. It takes me 10 minutes to hit that go live button. I gotta say, oh, all right, are you ready? All right, let's go. Oh, hold on. Did I get everything right? Did my camera? Oh, my forehead's too shiny. And then I got to take care of all that shit. And I'm like, all right, let's go live. And then the whole time I'm waiting for people to come in. Mm-hmm. It's just anxiety. You guys just walk out onto a fucking stage.
Yeah.
And you have a blank canvas and you have no clue how the night's going to go. Sorry, go ahead.
My question is,
he put his hand up. That was awesome.
My question is like, in general, like a hybrid of the things. Would you watch a comedian stream on Twitch or something to just silence like this? like if Louis C.K. walked out and did his special on Twitch, mm-hmm. would you watch stand up on a streaming thing? I'm going to silence. You're just hearing my voice. There's no I'm not going to put in canned laughter.
Yeah. Do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I fucking do it all the time. Yeah. I watch all the other comedians, but they're doing something.
Okay.
But they're drawing or they're gaming or they're talking to one of their other comedian buddies like you're doing right now. Yeah. And you guys can talk each other and do your whole thing back and forth. But what I was talking about with you, Winston, was when you do that, you automatically have video of your entire set. You can chop, cut, put a nice little montage together. Put that on Facebook, say, hey, y'all like this? See me tomorrow night at blah, 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 or whatever. I'm just trying to think of different ways.
No, that's interesting. Because I just got over the anxiety for TikTok. Like it has taken me small thing. Like Instagram was the first one. Mm-hmm. And then TikTok's the first time where I've ever recited my jokes with no audience into a camera and then been like, people check it out. But in my mind, I'm like, oh, those are only 15 to 30 seconds and they're done. I don't have to worry about it.
Right. But no instant gratification, though. No instant gratification.
But I can put it away. But to me, if I was doing it and it's just like, I don't know if anyone's going to hop in the chat and I'm doing an entire act, I'm probably going to have a panic attack.
No, I got you.
But I need to work on that because I agree. I think that my goal is if I get the followers on TikTok that I need to, because it's slowly building on that because I just started that a few weeks ago. When you hit a certain amount of followers there, then they allow you to go live.
Yeah, 1,000.
So not everybody can go live. Yeah, some crazy it's like 1,000, 5,000, some number like that.
I wouldn't go live on TikTok.
See, I would be like,
I just met you, and I'm telling you, I've been on TikTok for over a year. Okay, I would not go live on TikTok to do that until you have a good
interact
following.
With the audience who's because I'm sure it's Instagram or whatever live where they can do the flutters and the emojis.
Yeah,
and bullshit
they can.
While you're doing
they can pay money. They can give you gifts. Yep.
See, mine would be I would answer questions, or I would just be I would use it as a writing session and go over bits.
I thought you were going to do your whole skit. I was like,
no.
God. No, you would get roasted just because people on there, the kids would be
No, I would just straight up just
Jesus
be in
Christ.
there
Okay.
and be like, yo, this is stuff that I wrote today, and be like, let me know if you like it or what I need to work on. And just use it as like
I
a
gotcha.
live to show the process.
Like a
of doing
brainstorming
stand-up.
session.
Or like having
Yeah.
a friend. Yeah, but no, I would not just do my hour. I would film myself.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
horrific. Just in my whole fucking, that'd be brutal.
So
I
how
will
did Bontrager, how did you get started? If you don't mind me asking. I'm sorry, I don't mean to take your thing, Barry, but I was
Oh,
actually
no,
really
I think this
curious
is
about
fun.
how you got started. Okay, cool. You're over
Uh,
here now. Awesome. What's up?
Just doing stand up.
Yeah, what like
Oh, okay.
I mean any like you're a comedian, right? You're a stand-up
Yeah,
comedian
yeah.
or you're a okay.
I'm still technically an open micer. I barely get paid. Anyways, basically started in Chicago, doing stand up. I, for some reason, I never put it together for a long time that you could do comedy open mics. Because I did music open mics before, where I was basically like the front man for a band or something, just like introing him and stuff like that, trying to get their pace going or whatever. But I butchered some songs. That's about it. And then I don't know. I was just listening to some podcasts, and they're like open mics for comedians. I'm like, oh, I could just go to those. And then yeah, started doing those.
So was that like 5 or 10 minute? You got up there and was it like a
basically-
poetry session, you know?
Basically, my first set was at an open mic, a comedy open mic at this place called I think it was called PH Comedy Club.
Okay.
It's not around anymore, but it was in Chicago, like a little tiny like artist collective kind of thing. And I guess I had just gotten kind of like challenged to write a full 5 minutes of Pokemon jokes, and I did that. I riffed a little bit about how like because like basically like 3 comics before me all had jokes about not having a father. I was like, oh, I grew up without a dad too. So I started with that. I was like, growing up, I didn't have a dad, and so he came to my mom, looked him up, hired a private investigator, invited him to my 14th birthday party, and I was like, this guy's a douche. So I left home at 14, and I've been doing research for Professor Oak ever since, and then just kind of went into my whole Pokemon set, and it actually kind of went well. I like riffed a single mother Kangaskhan joke.
Oh my god!
So it was just like very specific.
Yeah, very very niche. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then
So that was your first time getting up on stage,
yeah.
right? Did it get easier after that?
Well, I just realized that it was easy for me to do it. For some reason, other people get freaked out about doing it. Just as long as as long as I know what I'm planned to do, you could I riff around that if I need to like make the structure different.
Right. So what Winston was saying, do you have that instant gratification? Do you need that? Because even Aaron said, stand up for me has to have crowd interaction for it to be part of the set.
Yeah.
So like he's saying, you're just standing there to a camera, just talking. There's no interaction. You can't feel the vibe, you know, just pretend every fucking joke you said was gold and move on, you know?
I have you know, it's Chicago, stubborn people, stubborn comedians. Comedians are stubborn in general.
Right.
But so basically I had a friend, she's like, I quit comedy. And I'm like, just do a fucking set. I got a goddamn curtain. It's like you're doing it. You'll hear them. I swear to God, you'll like it. She begrudgingly did it. And then she's like, afterwards, she's like, fuck you. I like it. I want to do stand-up again.
Yep.
Because she heard laughs. I don't have a
Right.
TV out here, so she didn't see the reactions, but she heard people laughing.
Right.
So like that was enough for her to feel like she was doing stand-up again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm always trying to figure out. I Zoom needs to like have a performance mode where I
Mhm.
can lower the audience and have them all kind of blend together more than have the speaker louder, because and I don't know, fuck Zoom.
Yeah, dude, because I'm someone that I believe that it's not stand up if there's not really an audience, and that can be as simple as having one person there. Like I've done some Instagram shows with people that have booked me, and it's me just talking to someone on Instagram, I wouldn't consider that stand up. But Zoom,
but if you
there's people there, and it's like, even if they're muted, it's like performing to an open mic crowd that just doesn't like your jokes.
Yeah.
So to
but
me,
if you
that's
tell a
still stand
joke,
up.
if you tell a joke in the middle of the woods and nobody's there to hear it, is this shit still funny?
No, it's not.
It is.
No,
Get a
dude.
squirrel,
It is, dude.
like do a little chitter
No,
in a
dude.
tree, because that's laughs.
To me,
it
it's not.
counts.
It's not like I can write a joke that's funny to me, but
Right.
like the only way that I know that it's a good joke is like you're only as good as your last set. So the only way that I know that it's a good joke is if there's an audience there to like co-sign that it's a good joke. So if there's no
I gotcha.
audience, it's not even stand up. To me, it's not even stand up. It's like I'm just being a crazy asshole in the woods.
Yeah,
Especially if you're sitting down. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, for real though.
you're just being a lonely poet.
Yeah,
Right.
One similarity I will say, as somebody that's streamed and done comedy, I will say that the networking is just as clutch in both fields, and it's a very important part about getting started out, because I will say, had it not been for the comics that I met when I started doing stand-up comedy, I wouldn't have learned how to write jokes properly and stuff like that. Like, you know, learning the craft of writing a joke and stuff like that, and working a crowd and all those skills that it's like you need people that have been doing it already to kind of show you the ropes. And it was kind of the same way with streaming. Like, when you come into streaming, you literally know nobody on the platform unless you know somebody else, like I did, that also streams and stuff. But for the most part, a lot of my first viewers and a lot of the first people that followed me were all people from other communities that I had gotten to know over, 6 to 8 weeks or whatever of just hanging out in this stream that I enjoyed. And it reminded me a lot of going to early open mics and not knowing anybody and just kind of starting to talk to comics, and you get to know these people and they may give you a jewel of something that'll help you with writing or whatever and stuff. So I think that's very similar as far as the two go.
I mean, you have laugh theory, right?
There
You have
peop-
laugh theory, just like you have color theory. Like
Mhm.
there's a specific way to write a joke, a specific way to deliver it. There's a specific audience that, jokes may fly better with the, you know what I mean? There's a specific way to do your job, and you guys learn that, or you get tips and tricks from people that have already tripped and
think
fell.
there are like structures that have worked over the history of comedy, and they work because I think there's just something like maybe musical about certain languages, or like if you say
That's
words in
rhythm,
certain
dude.
orders, like something like that. But like I don't think there are hard and fast rules. There are rules of structures that have worked in the past,
Right.
like
don't tell
like
a
with meme
Pokemon joke at a
structures.
banking convention.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay, so that's you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying.
But you could try it, and you could maybe bet that it's a banking community or a conference, and there might be some Pokemon nerds there.
Fuck, I should have.
You might want to just throw out
concrete.
a low ball Pokemon joke,
No, I'm just playing.
and just like,
Yeah,
I
every
hear
crowd's
if you
different, man.
marinate
Mhm.
Pikachu meat in teriyaki sauce, well, I don't know.
Comedy.
Pikataki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comedy and streaming are just
Pika-aki.
so interesting to me.
Yeah.
Just both very interesting art forms.
And look,
it's a weird thing that has to happen.
The other thing, like with what Barry was saying earlier, like when people come to our stream and we've never met them before, we have no fucking clue who they are. They came to our stream because of the game we were playing, and if they stay for the gamer.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
that's
Okay.
fair.
So when you guys get somebody new, or you guys get somebody that you've never met before, like how do you get them to come back? How do you try to retain viewers,
As an audience member?
fans?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Doing,
so, I
just
mean, does that
doing
make
really
sense?
well. Yeah, just doing well.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
just because you just said you're only known as well as your last. I'm sorry, I just messed
Yeah,
up.
you're only as good as your last set. So if you bombed
Yeah.
your last time, you suck.
Yeah.
right. So
people-
if you bombed
like
your
it-
last set, are those 8 are those 20 people, or those 5 people, or whatever? Are they
I
going
mean,
to
you
come
might
back?
slowly build up people who just like your material in general, but like
if
that's a very
if they've never seen stand up before, Like
Mhm.
the cool thing with an open mic is there's a ton of comics.
Mhm.
So there's a good chance they're going to see somebody they like to return to the show. But if
Right.
someone has seen me a bunch of times and I do well most of the time, I'm not going to deter them from coming. But I've seen people bomb so hard at an open mic that people stand up and leave and are just like, they're
Oh,
never
shit.
coming to a comedy show
Yeah.
again.
Oh shit. Okay.
Well, it's
Yeah,
just
like and those people are the worst comics of all time. Just
Yeah.
people that will walk a room. It's
well,
brutal.
yeah, like they think it's a game to do that, or like maybe just
Yeah.
their excuse is
people that enjoy
people think
it.
their stuff's too dark or whatever,
Yeah,
and
there's
it's not
people
even
that
like-
enjoy being edgy and they're fucking it up for everybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Because to me, there's a
Mm,
difference
mm.
between like edgy humor and then just like saying edgy shit
And then
like,
being an
you'll
edge
see
lord,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, and you'll see people just like literally leave a room. I mean, I can name at least
Yeah.
one time where I've seen half of a room leave. Like, you
Yeah.
know.
Golly day.
Yeah, dude, it's brutal, man. People
I had one more question that I
Yeah.
had on my
ask it
for
and
the
we'll
comics.
close out. This is perfect. This is perfect to
Oh,
close out on.
are we on a time restraint?
Yeah,
Yeah,
6
it's-
o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Our show,
Oh
baby.
man. Dude, I could do this all night, yo. All right.
I do that. That's another difference between stand up and streamers.
This is
I
what
have
I
a
do.
hard out. I have a hard out. I'm sorry.
All right, so here's my question. So when you guys are, thinking of jokes, okay, and you think of a joke and it hits you and you write that motherfucker down, right? Is there anything in the back of your mind like there's fucking 40 million other people? Did somebody already come up with this joke? Like, how do you research if you just plagiarized and didn't know you did? Does that make sense?
Well, usually comics are pretty good about policing other comics.
Mhm.
So
Oh yeah, I know. I mean,
So if you
just,
do a joke
Joe
that-
Rogan and Carlos Mencia.
yeah, but Carlos is purposely stealing as opposed to like most comics don't do that. So like if Bontrager, I know him. So like if he did a joke that I know another comic does, I will send him a DM and be like, hey man, this is another person's joke. It's really similar to yours. And then it's up to him whether he drops it or
Yeah.
if he changes it. But like it's all about perspective and point of view. To me, I think the best comics
Yeah.
can take whatever topic and it's like, I'm going to talk about dating, but this is a specific thing that has happened to me.
Yeah.
So it's impossible to plagiarize stuff that's happened to you, but it happens. I mean, there's people that take jokes. There's topics that people run into the
No,
ground, and you just try to avoid. Really,
No, I get.
hacky
I
shit.
guess my thing is what I'm asking both of you is when you write a joke, do you worry about if that punchline or that setup or whatever somebody already did before?
In
You know what I'm
general, I think that like if someone tells me that I did a punchline that someone else wrote or something, or they saw another comic do it, especially on an open mic, I'm not digging deep enough. It's
Yeah.
not. It's just a surf. Everyone has this thought. It's a thought everyone fucking has, and no one digs any deeper than this perspective of it. So if everyone's doing this version of the joke since the rise of man, like then you need to go deeper from it and also put your own specificity on it.
Yeah.
Right,
You're just
I
not
got you.
working hard
Yeah.
enough.
I got you. I think that would be my
don't-
thing.
I don't
It's
have
like if
that
I'm sitting
worry.
there taking hours and hours and hours trying to get a script or trying to get a show together,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would hate for somebody to be like, the fucking asshole last week just said the same thing. I
Yeah.
mean, I'd be like, oh my God, really? I had no, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, and
I just
and
yeah.
and that happens. Like I've seen people do that. But I think when writing, it's just like when I write a joke, I have a group of comics that I'm in a group chat with, and I'll just send the joke like, "Hey, this is the thing I'm working on. Have you heard anyone else do this?" And if 2 or 3 of my friends like, "No, I haven't heard anyone do that," or they're like, "This is similar to this," and they give me
Yeah.
whatever, I can rework it before I do it on stage. But
you're
that's
not
just,
worried about anybody stealing your jokes that way, huh?
I mean, they take my jokes.
Well,
that's
and I
fine.
mean, there's a lot of
Really.
stuff where you can spin it a million different ways too. Where like, one thing you learn when you're writing jokes is that it's not just about the intro and the punchline. You got to have tags interspersed in that, and what your tags are can potentially change the joke as a whole,
Yeah.
even though the punchline
Yeah.
may be similar.
And I've had jokes get stolen from me, and usually it's like I've had some of my friends confront them. I've had my friends confront them and handle it for me. So it's not really like an issue. It's more like, hey, that's a joke Winston does, and it usually stops. Or if I write a joke and someone else takes it and does it, then it's a joke that I haven't crafted well enough. Because most of my jokes I feel like are things that only I can tell. So if I'm doing something and someone else can tell it and get away with it, it's just like I don't really need that joke to succeed, but I will say something to the person.
Yeah.
That's just kind of where my head is at on it. But everybody's different.
I got you.
This was a good one. This is a good conversation.
Yeah.
Nino
Yeah.
and Bontrager.
It was fun.
Good to
I had a great time.
on.
I really appreciate everybody and appreciate y'all inviting me on. That was fun.
Yeah.
Really.
And where can we go about finding you, Nino and Bontrager?
You can check out twitch.tv/NinoReign. And I'm also on TikTok as well. It's the same name. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. On Twitch, I'm slime_cleric.
Well, shit, I messed up. I tried to give you a shout out a minute ago, and it just completely shouted out somebody else. Then,
Awesome.
Some guy named Bontrager. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't do it. Yeah, that's probably why I didn't do Bontrager.
That's so funny.
Right. Sorry,
This
didn't
dude's like,
interrupt.
I got all these follows. What happened?
Yeah, slime
You just blew up some Amish dude's Twitch.
I've only been on this account once. Oh,
Hezekiah, get over here quick. We gotta get more content.
Well, good. This was a good one, guys. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah, next week.
Thanks for
We
tuning
do
in.
this every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, and then you can check out archives of all the episodes at comicsandconsoles.com. So be sure to check that out, and everybody take care, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
Ciao.